Boy. Fulton County, y'all. Corruption at its finest. We got some huge news in this video today, man. But this trial is a complete embarrassment to the American legal system, y'all. I mean, it's just, you see why everybody has lost faith, man, in the justice system. For real. This is a complete embarrassment, you guys. Complete embarrassment. The judge needs to be disbarred. The DAs need to be disbarred. Just remove everybody and do a full office investigation. This is bad, y'all. But let's jump straight in. I hope everybody is blessed, well, healthy, and that nothing but the best is going on in all you beautiful people's life. My beautiful patriots, brothers and sisters around the world. Hope y'all spreading love, man, in these dark times, man. These dark, woke times, man. We're living in the darkest times ever, man. Y'all spread the love to one another, man. America is not America anymore. And we're going to keep calling it for what it is. And y'all, so we've covered Fulton County for this past year, man, and it's just been, we still looking for that mattress, Fani G Willis. We still looking for that mattress with all that money in there. I know it's somewhere off I-75, Atlanta, Georgia, right in the hood somewhere on that corner block. We know where that mattress is at. We're gonna get to it now. Y'all keep moving that mattress. We're gonna get to it. But let's go and jump straight into this, you guys. Y'all see the title. It's finna get real and spicy. Oh boy.
Mr. Steele, I am going to hold you still hold you in summary criminal contempt.
The judge in Young Thug's RICO trial.
We caught him. We caught you, Judge. We caught you, buddy. Yeah. We caught you. Whether you like it or not, get mad or not, we caught you. You should be, y'all know I gotta watch my words on here, but boy. Salute to Brian Steele. True patriot. True patriot gangster in my books. We caught you.
Orders the rapper's attorney to jail for contempt.
How did you get that information supposedly from my chambers? Did somebody tell you? I'm not. You should have told me.
You got caught.
You got 5 minutes.
This happened after lawyer Brian Steele refused to tell the judge how he found out about a meeting between the judge, the prosecutor, and a state's witness. Steele's lawyer is here with what's next for him and Young Thug's trial. I'm Anjanette Levy, and this is Crime Fix. It was a crazy, wild day in court in Young Thug's trial. On Monday, it started with testimony from Kenneth Copeland, who goes by Little Woody. Copeland wasn't really into testifying, despite being given immunity by the prosecution. He spent the weekend in jail after refusing to testify on Friday. Copeland took the stand on Monday and let it be known that he wasn't going to do it.
And Mr. Copeland, good afternoon. Do you want to be here?
Ma'am?
Do you want to be here?
I'm here.
Okay. Are you going to let me ask you some questions?
Okay.
How old are you?
Grown.
Okay, what does grown mean?
I'm an adult.
Okay. And when you say you're an adult, what number in years are you?
I plead the fifth.
So after that, Brian Steele let the court know that he found out that Judge Earl Glanville, prosecutors, and Copeland with his lawyer met in chambers without members of the defense teams, including Steele, present.
I was told, based upon information and belief, that when we arrived at 8:30, 9 o'clock today, we did not come into your courtroom until almost 11:30. And what I found out just recently, this is not waived, is that supposedly in chambers, this honorable court reporter at times, honorable court at times, district attorney or district attorneys from the DA's office, as well as investigators, sheriff deputies, Mr. Copeland and his counsel met together. None of the defense team, to my knowledge, was aware that this was going on. It was told, based upon information belief, that it was told to the district attorneys that Mr. Copeland intended to plead the Fifth Amendment. Can I interrupt you just a second? I'm kind of disturbed because that's ex parte. All that was an ex parte conversation.
How did you find out about any of that?
Now, this seems really unusual that a judge would be meeting in chambers with a state's witness and the prosecutor without a member of the defense team there. But Judge Glanville was furious that Steele found out about the meeting in chambers.
You got caught,
I
buddy.
understand that you're upset towards me, but I don't know what I did.
Mr. Steele,
I'm
I
doing
still
what
want to
everybody
know,
should
how
do.
did you come upon this information? Who told you?
What I want to know is why wasn't I there? Why did
Sir,
this
I'm going to
happen?
hold you in contempt if you don't tell me who the,
I'm not- I
tell me who this
I
information
don't
was
want to
come
be
from.
held in contempt.
Well,
I'm not
then-
answering that question. That's attorney-client privilege information. I am not answering that.
Attorney-client privilege, unless you were in my chambers, that's the only way you can figure out.
I am
I
telling
tell you
you-
what, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. If you don't tell me
Don't
who
have
you,
to. I'm
if
gonna
you don't tell me
continue.
who it is, I'm going to put you in,
Well, let me-
I'm going to put you in contempt
I
because
understand.
that is not attorney-client privilege.
Attorney work product privilege.
We
I am
caught you,
not
buddy.
telling
How did you get that information
go to
supposedly
answer
from
that
my
question.
chambers? Did somebody tell you?
I'm not. You should have told me.
You got 5 minutes.
Glanville
Throw the whole thing away. Get the judge gone. We caught you, buddy. We caught you. Fulton County is a complete disgrace.
actually ordered that Steele be thrown out of court for the day over Steele's objection and the objection of his co-counsel.
Well, I'm going to hold you in contempt, and you can think about it. 5 o'clock today, we'll see where you are at that stand on that point. Because no, that's not what I understand the rule to be. I've not asked you sum and substance of what was said. I asked you how you got it.
I can't do that.
Yes, you can, because I have an idea how you got it.
Well, your idea.
I have
may
an
be
idea how
wrong.
you got it, but that's improper, sir.
Your idea may be wrong, and you're asking me to listen. I told you the first time, and I'm not
Sir,
going to
I
breach
don't
that
wanna-
confidence.
I don't want to hold you in contempt, but this is that serious.
Judge,
You
I'm the one who
cannot
raised it.
you cannot eavesdrop and get information that was not meant for you to hear at that particular point in time.
The prosecutor on the case, Adrian Love, said there was nothing improper about what happened with this ex parte meeting in chambers regarding Kenneth Copeland being held in contempt.
We certainly have the right to request ex parte communications. That's why we ask that the court reporter be present. This is a matter that the defendants did not have a right to be a part of, as this was a matter regarding a civil contempt that the court imposed upon a person for not obeying the court's directive.
Now, it seems like even the prosecutor thought that this could be an issue. Adrian Love asked that Steele be allowed to return to the courtroom.
We would ask that the court fashion a punishment for the contempt that affords Mr. Williams the right during these proceedings while court is in session to both counsel for both of his counsels. For Mr. Steele to be present in the courtroom, he can still be held in contempt. But for Mr. Williams to have representation of both Mr. Steele and Mr. Adams while court is in session, and that the court's remedy does not affect his ability to have his counsel of choice represent him during this trial.
Now, later in the day, and I mean the evening after 7 p.m., attorney Ashleigh Merchant came to court to represent Brian Steele in this contempt matter.
Judge, just for the record, is it criminal contempt that you held him in?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you said you had a hearing earlier today.
With criminal contempt, I told him what the contempt was, and that was he refused to tell, order the court. If counsel, as you know, if the court orders you to do something and you don't, that's criminal contempt. So I've asked him several times, please just tell me who it is that told you. I didn't ask or inquire about anything that was said. I just want to know who it was.
Okay.
Because he's got too much detail of this particular alleged conversation for the court to be concerned about it. So.
And Judge, since it is a criminal contempt, he is entitled to due process. He's entitled to a hearing, entitled to an actual show cause, entitled to the allegations actually written, entitled to a witness list. We're entitled to present our own witness list and notice of that.
Criminal contempt is different. It is on the spot. So he's gotten the due process he's going to get. That's on the spot. I told him. Plus, he's had all day to tell me who it is that Is it so a little different, Miss Merchant? I'm going to disagree with you, but
Well, and
Ashley Merchant, true patriot. Now, we're going to get it right, Judge. We're going to get you gone. We caught you, buddy. We caught you. We caught you, but we caught you with your pants down, buddy. Yeah. No drawers on. And a pair of goggles. We caught you. Thought you was slick. So y'all down there in Fulton County think y'all slick. You know? We know all the lies and all the stealing and all the money hide in the mattress. We know. Oh, we know. Yeah. We caught you, buddy.
Judge, just for the record, it's that's direct. So what you're holding him in is in direct criminal contempt.
yes.
The issue with the direct criminal contempt is whether or not to actually hold a hearing now, whether or not it needs to be held immediately. And the problem is, if you hold him in direct criminal contempt, as you're saying that you did, you are a witness to that proceeding. And so it has to be referred to another judge. Doesn't require recusal. You actually have to sua sponte send it to another judge because you're a witness to the proceeding.
If you're anything like
And you wonder why they don't put Trump's cases live on television, inside the court on television. Yeah, I understand what you guys are saying now. I understand what you guys are saying. Everything comes out, man. What's done in the dark must come to the light. And the world can see what's going on, man. America is watching.
like me, you are always cleaning up a mess, especially with pets and kids around the house. So having cleaning products, especially sleek spray bottles like this one, is an absolute must. This is Blue Land, and you know what's great?
Like, unbelievable.
I'm going to hold you still hold you in summary criminal contempt pursuant to OCGA 15-1-3, subpart 3, for your failure to comply with my earlier order today. I'm going to order that you be taken into custody, incarcerated at the Fulton County Jail for no more than 20 days for this contempt. Those 20 days consisting of every weekend for the next 10 weekends. And you'll be reporting to 901 Wright Street Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30318 at 7 p.m. on Fridays. You'll be released on 7 p.m. on Sundays. And it's to commence this Friday, June the 14th at 7 p.m. and not to end until Sunday, August the 18th at 2024, 7 p.m., subject to further order of this court.
This is
Now,
corrupt,
after
man.
the judge said that Brian Steele was going to have to spend his weekends in jail, Steele had just one request.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I'm going to file a notice of appeal, but for whatever reason that doesn't take, and you don't give a bond, then I'd ask that I can be with Mr. Williams and we work on our case all weekend, for all those weekends. Otherwise, I can't prepare. I speak with Mr. Williams all the time.
That's up to you. And sir, I will, sir, if that comes to pass, you have my support. I will talk with our sheriff and we may be able to make that work. Okay.
And this entire thing has turned Brian Steele into a hero of sorts among defense attorneys. Joining me is Ashleigh Merchant. She is Brian Steele's lawyer. She's also the president of the Georgia Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers. So Ashleigh, talk to me a little bit about how you end up at the Fulton County Courthouse last night at 7:30 at night, representing Brian Steele in this issue, this contempt matter.
Definitely not how I imagined my day beginning or ending.
Right.
I was in a meeting and my paralegal came in and said, your phone is lighting up and Brian's in custody. And I said, oh my God, call me on my phone. I'm getting in the car. I'm driving down there. And, you know, I've served for many years as GACTL, as our association's contempt attorney, where we have attorneys that we dispatch if any lawyers are ever held in contempt. We call it strike force. So I'm a member of that. So I'm one of the lawyers that regularly would represent someone. But when I heard Brian was in custody, I had to go myself. And luckily, he's very loved in our community. And so many members of our team went down there and were there. And so we had a very strong showing of force, but it was definitely something I did not expect to happen.
You're a criminal defense attorney and you've done a lot of murder trials. Is this unusual? Because it sounds unusual to me that a judge would meet in chambers with a prosecution, the star witness for the prosecution, the star witness's lawyer, and they'd all be there having a confab together without a member of the defense team present. Is that weird? That seems like an ex parte communication or something.
Right. And, during my hearing, the judge is admitting that he had this ex parte communication. And it seems like that should be what everyone's focused on, not whether or not Brian is going to tell him who told him the judge had this ex parte. It just seemed like deflecting. The judge was in trouble, got caught with having this ex parte hearing. And instead of admit to that and handle that, when Brian brought it up, they're going to throw Brian in jail. It didn't make a lot of sense. But like you said, it's unheard of. These proceedings are supposed to be what we call adversary, where all the defense is there. The defendants, the defense lawyers are all supposed to be present. But instead, they chose to have this meeting without inviting any of the defense, without letting them know. And when they brought that up, the lawyer ends up in custody.
The only time I've ever heard of a defense attorney maybe being back in chambers meeting with a judge without the prosecution present or something like that happening is when it was like, oh, judge, we need to talk to you about funds we need allocated for an expert or something like that. If it's like a public defender case or something, that's the only time I've heard of this type of thing happening. But this just sounds hinky. So what are you doing for Brian now? Because Brian, as of right now, is supposed to report to the jail Friday night to spend his weekend in the cell with Young Thug, getting ready for court and doing his time for this contempt that you argued that he shouldn't be serving.
Right. I mean, there's two huge issues there. The first, what we're doing is we are appealing it. So we're filing an emergency appeal. Thank God we have an emergency process in Georgia to appeal contempt orders. We believe the judges of the appellate courts will grant a bond. And so hopefully Brian will not have to spend his weekend in the jail. The worst part, though, is this trial is continuing. And so imagine, we don't just work during the hours you see us in court. When we're in court, we are regularly working after hours. We're working at night. We're working on weekends. I have never tried a case where I didn't work all weekend. And Brian is a very good lawyer and he does a lot of work on his cases. So he's definitely working all weekend. You're taking a man from his office where he has computers, Westlaw, internet, all this stuff, access to the case file. And this case file's huge, and putting him in a jail cell where he's none of that. That the trial can't continue. I mean, it boggles my mind that anybody thinks that you could have the lead defense lawyer in custody the entire weekend and this trial continue unhinged. That defies logic to me.
So you're filing the emergency appeal. I mean, I would assume you expect to hear back about that within a day or so. Am I wrong about that? Or what's the process? What's the time frame?
Yes. Luckily in Georgia, when an attorney is subject to incarceration, the appellate courts respond very quickly. And what it's called is a supersedious bond. So essentially they issue a bond that kind of stays everything and says, wait, hold on, we're going to pause this. You're not going to have to go to custody. You get to go and do this appeal. And so it just pauses that while the appeal is pending. If we're successful with the appeal, then Brian never has to go into custody. Obviously, if we lose the appeal, he could still be forced to spend weekends in custody, but that would be down the road. That wouldn't be right now.
But then we have the issue of this big kerfuffle. I mean, this big mess, this big confrontation between the judge who seems very angry and really dug in on his position.
Because he got caught.
And Brian Steele. Now the trial continues and they have to move forward. Brian Steele moved for a mistrial. That's not happening. Can this trial continue in your view and be tried fairly given what's happened? I mean, it doesn't matter if the jury didn't see this. It's something that is impacting the course of the trial.
I can tell you as a defense lawyer, nothing will affect your advocacy more than a judge saying, if you keep arguing and doing your job, I'm going to lock you up and putting you in handcuffs. Nothing will affect you more. And that's essentially what happened. Brian made an argument. He ended up in handcuffs. He ended up in the Fulton County Jail in the lockup for, an hour or so before the judge let him out. Nothing will stop an advocate in their tracks more than going to jail. because you can't do your job. And, you know, that fear has got to be in the back of everybody's mind in that courtroom, every single defense lawyer. You know, some of them, they may have kids they've got to go home to and they can't go to jail. I mean, you think about the things that are going on in their minds. You know, you want to be able to do everything you can for your client, but you can't do that if you're in jail.
But Ashleigh, can he go to the appellate court? Can Brian Steele maybe go to the appellate court and say, look at what happened? I mean, it's on video. That's not how appellate courts make decisions, but it could be filed as an exhibit and file something saying this is, you know, some type of an appeal saying what is going on here, what happened is impacting this trial. Can that happen?
Oh, yes, definitely. And I was doing some research this morning working on this appeal, and the law is really clear. If you have an ex parte communication with a witness during trial, it is reversible error. So this error is, and what that means in the legal world is that's about as bad as it gets. That means it's reversible. That means that any conviction is going to be reversed because of this. So if they want to try and remedy this, they better hurry up and remedy it. And the state should really be thinking about that, because the state's duty is to preserve their conviction. So if they were to get a conviction, they have a duty to make sure that the conviction stands on appeal. And this is reversible error. So I don't understand why they're not jumping up and saying, give him these transcripts, give him what he asked for in this ex parte. They have a duty to preserve the record as well. Otherwise, they're just wasting the taxpayers' dollars and keeping people incarcerated while they try this case that they know is not going to stand up on appeal if there is a conviction.
Ashleigh Merchant, we'll keep an eye on it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ashleigh Merchant, true patriot. True patriot. What do y'all think of all this shabama whamma going on, y'all? Oh boy. Fulton County, man. It's a complete embarrassment, man. Complete embarrassment. This is what's going on, y'all. You got caught. You got caught. Yeah. Yeah, you know how you get caught and your heart drop, or if you get caught doing something you ain't supposed to be doing? Yeah. Then you try to flip it. You get in your feelings. Corruption, man. It's corrupt. And this is another reason why cameras need to be in the courtroom. And I believe they should have had cameras during Trump's trial. Just being honest. Just being honest, man. But everybody's waking up, man, and everybody's seeing the corruption. And it's not new with Fulton County. We know what that county's all about. And again, it's hit the news, it's hitting the fan, whistleblowers, you name it. It's out there. We knew what happened back then. We knew what happened in 2020. We know. And again, a lot of people are not surprised. Get the judge out of there. Get the DA. Just bar everybody. Hands behind your back. That's who need to be putting their hands behind their back. Complete embarrassment. But let me know what y'all think about this. Comment down below. I love you guys, man. I'm wishing the best in all you guys' life as we go through these dark times together, man. Dark times, y'all. God bless all you guys and your family. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace and love, y'all.